12-year-old boy spent so many hours in Roblox that his parents started blaming each other for it. First came the screaming, then came the lawyers, and the thing that finally split this family apart was a single Roblox notification. This story was shared anonymously by a boy we will call Nathan. He posted it on a forum, and it quickly gained attention because of how raw and painful it was. Nathan grew up in a small suburban house with both of his parents. His dad, Richard, was an electrician, the kind of man who fixed everything around the house but never talked about his feelings. His mom, Clara, worked part-time in a local bakery. She was warm, affectionate, and always made sure dinner was on the table by 6. From the outside, they looked like a perfectly normal family. They had a small backyard with a dog named Biscuit. They went to church together. Richard coached Nathan's Little League team. Clara helped him with homework every evening. They were not rich, but they were stable, and Nathan felt safe. But underneath the surface, Richard and Clara had problems they kept hidden from their son. They argued quietly behind their bedroom door. Most of the arguments were about money. Richard wanted to save for a bigger house. Clara wanted Nathan to attend a better school. They disagreed constantly, but they never let Nathan see it. Nathan had no idea his parents were struggling. To him, everything was fine. And then he discovered Roblox. A friend at school told him about it. Nathan created an account, picked a username, and joined his first game. Within a week, he was hooked. He loved the freedom of it. He could build anything, go anywhere, be anyone. For a quiet boy who did not have many friends at school, Roblox felt like a second world where he actually mattered. At first, his parents thought it was great. Nathan was entertained, he stayed out of trouble, and he seemed happy. Clara even said to Richard one evening that she was glad Nathan found something he enjoyed. Richard agreed. They had no idea that this game would become the thing that tore their family apart. Weeks passed and Nathan's screen time increased. 1 hour became 2. 2 became 4. 4 became entire evenings. He stopped going outside. He stopped playing with Biscuit. He barely talked at dinner. His grades started slipping, not dramatically, but enough for his teacher to send a note home. Clara was the first to worry. She told Richard they needed to set limits, maybe an hour a day, no screens after 8. Richard shrugged it off. He said Nathan was just going through a phase, that all kids play games, and that Clara was overreacting. This was the first crack. Clara felt dismissed. She had brought up a real concern, and her husband had brushed it aside like it was nothing. She decided to handle it herself and told Nathan he could only play for 1 hour after finishing his homework. Nathan threw a tantrum. He screamed that it was not fair, that all his friends played longer, that she was ruining his life. Richard heard the yelling from the garage and came inside. Instead of backing Clara up, he told her to relax. He said Nathan was fine, that she was being too strict. Clara stared at him in disbelief. In front of their son, Richard had undermined her authority. Nathan watched this happen, and even though he was only 12, he understood something powerful in that moment. If he pushed hard enough, his parents would fight each other instead of fighting him. He did not realize it yet, but he had just found a weapon far more dangerous than anything inside Roblox. From that point on, whenever Clara tried to limit his screen time, Nathan would cry or yell until Richard stepped in and told Clara to back off. It became a pattern. Clara would set a rule, Nathan would resist, Richard would override Clara, and Clara would go silent, furious, feeling completely alone in her own house. The arguments between Richard and Clara got louder. They stopped hiding them behind the bedroom door. Nathan could hear them from his room, but he had his headphones on. He was playing Roblox, building a world where none of this existed. One evening, Clara came home from work and found Nathan still on the computer. He had not eaten, had not done his homework, and Biscuit had not been fed. She checked the screen time log on the router and discovered Nathan had been playing for 9 straight hours. She unplugged the computer. Nathan lost it. He screamed, cried, and threw his chair across the room. Clara stood firm. She told him this was over, that the computer was going into storage until his behavior improved. Richard came home 30 minutes later. When he saw Nathan sobbing on the couch and the computer missing, he demanded to know what happened. Clara explained. Richard's response made her blood freeze. He said she had no right to take the computer away without discussing it with him first. He said she always made decisions alone and never considered his opinion. Clara could not believe what she was hearing. She had been begging him for months to help her set boundaries, and now he was blaming her for acting alone? That night, they had the worst argument of their marriage. It was not about Roblox anymore. It was about years of resentment, years of feeling unheard, years of disagreeing on how to raise their son. Roblox did not cause the cracks in this family, but it ripped them wide open. And Nathan, sitting in his dark room with his ear against the wall, heard every single word, including one sentence that would change his life forever. Clara screamed at Richard, "If you won't protect our son from this, then I will protect him from you." Richard did not respond. He grabbed his jacket and left the house. He did not come back that night. The next morning, Nathan woke up to a quiet house. His dad's truck was not in the driveway. His mom was sitting at the kitchen table with red eyes and a cup of coffee she had not touched. Nathan asked where his dad was. Clara forced a smile and said he had gone to work early. But Nathan knew. He could feel it. Something had broken, and it was not coming back. Richard stayed at his brother's house for a week, then 2 weeks, then a month. He and Clara barely spoke. When they did, it was cold and transactional. About bills, about Nathan's school, never about each other. Nathan continued playing Roblox, but now it felt different. The joy was gone. Every time he logged in, he felt a knot in his stomach. He started noticing things he had ignored before. The empty chair at dinner. His mom crying in the bathroom when she thought he could not hear. His dad's voice on the phone, distant and tired. One day at school, Nathan's teacher asked the class to write about their family. Nathan stared at the blank page for 20 minutes and then wrote one sentence. "My family used to be happy before I started playing." The teacher read it and called Clara. Clara broke down on the phone. She told the teacher everything. The teacher recommended a family counselor. Clara went alone at first because Richard refused. The counselor told her something she already knew but did not want to admit. Nathan's gaming was not the real problem. It was the symptom. The real problem was that she and Richard had stopped communicating long before Roblox entered the picture. The game just became the battlefield where all their unresolved issues finally exploded. But knowing the truth did not save them. Sometimes understanding why something broke does not mean you can fix it. And what Nathan did next proved that the damage had already gone deeper than anyone realized. Nathan found his father's number and called him. Richard picked up, surprised. Nathan, voice shaking, asked him one question. "Dad, if I delete Roblox, will you come home?" Richard went silent for a long time. Then he said, "Buddy, this is not about the game." Nathan hung up and deleted his Roblox account that same night. Every friend, every world he had built, every item he had earned over the past year, gone in 30 seconds. He sat in front of the blank screen and cried until he fell asleep at his desk. But his dad did not come home. 2 months later, Nathan overheard his mom on the phone with a lawyer. She was asking about custody arrangements. Nathan did not fully understand the legal terms, but he understood enough. His parents were getting divorced. The papers were filed shortly after. Richard moved to a small apartment across town. Nathan visited him every other weekend. The house felt enormous now with only 2 people in it. Biscuit seemed confused, always waiting by the door for Richard to come home. Nathan never touched Roblox again. But deleting the game did not undo anything. The silence at dinner remained. The empty driveway remained. The sound of his mom crying through the wall remained. He later wrote on the same forum where he first shared his story, "I used to think Roblox was my escape. Turns out it was a mirror. It showed me everything that was already broken in my house. I just did not want to see it." Nathan's story is painful because there is no villain in it. Richard was not a bad father. Clara was not a bad mother. Nathan was not a bad kid. They were just a family that stopped talking to each other and let a screen fill the silence. The addiction did not cause the divorce. but it accelerated it. It gave Richard and Clara something to argue about instead of addressing what was really wrong. And by the time they realized the game was just a symptom, the damage was already done. If you recognize any of this in your own life, whether it is Roblox or something else, the lesson is simple. Talk to each other. Not about screen time, not about rules. Talk about how you actually feel. Because the moment you stop communicating, something else will fill that gap, and it might be something you cannot control. Nathan is older now. He has a better relationship with both of his parents separately. He even plays games again, but carefully, and with limits he sets for himself. He says the hardest part was not losing the game. It was realizing that no amount of deleting could bring back what his family had lost. Here is my question to you. Have you ever seen a game cause real problems in a family you know? Drop your answer in the comments. I will heart the most honest ones. Hey, that one hit different, right? I hope Nathan's story stays with you for a while. If you know someone who needs to hear this, send them this video. Subscribe if you have not yet, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of your family. They are the only inventory that actually matters.